How important is the thoughts that you say in your mind quietly every day and the words you speak out loud every day? How important are they together, and which one is more valuable if you could only choose one? Negative thoughts but positive words, positive thoughts but negative words, or do they both need to be in alignment towards your mission and purpose?
Well, so I'll start with this. Your life is a physical manifestation of the conversation going on in your head. I'm going to start with that.
Can we just speak for like 24 hours on this? I love this.
Right. Your life is a physical manifestation of the conversation going on in your head. So if you said nothing but thought everything, your life is going to show up to make your thoughts true. So you have one job. You have one job in your life for you, to make what you think about life true so that you're not wrong. You don't want to walk around wrong. You want to be right about the life you see. So you're going to work hard to produce the life that you talk about in your mind. Whether that life is no one loves me, I'm all alone. You can be in a group of people and you will think, I'm so alone. And you will feel alone, and things will show up to co-sign your loneliness just because you're looking for that. And so if you start with, I'm going to say the mind, like the mind is that thing. The mind is the core engine. It starts all things. It shuts all things down. When I start thinking something different, I'm like, hold on, stop. I want to think something. I shut down that behavior. I shut down that outcome. When I birth something, I birth it in my mind. I focus on my mind. I see myself there in my mind. Before I got on with you, I was doing guided visualizations. I'm recording them. So people, and I mean, they're juicy. And I'm saying, see yourself here. Because if you can see it, and then the key is evoke the emotion as if you were there.
Yep.
Right? And that's why people who are sad all the time are sad, because they're thinking of things that make them sad. And then the emotion follows the thought. So I'm going to say everything starts with your thought, Lewis. But let me just say this. When you speak your future into the world. You speak your future. Whatever you say, whatever falls off your tongue, when you say I am, right? The unconscious mind says, and you are so. Whatever comes on the other side of that. And so you asked me a hard question, which one is most important? It starts with the thought. I think the thought is that's where everything originates. And then you add a whole lot of turbo boost to it with your tongue. Yeah. And so when you align the two, and then you add to it, like the B12 of action. Action is like, that's the nitro, like, right? And I see so many people, they think it, they write it, they journal it, they talk about it, and they do no action. And I go, you understand that the action is that's like putting the flower in the sun, because it requires sun. And so, yeah.
Yeah, this is a beautiful explanation. And I had a Navy SEAL on, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. His name's Chad. And he talked about, as a SEAL, he used the tongue as a rudder in a boat. He said, what you speak is going to lead you down, the ocean or the river or wherever on the boat you're on. And so he never says anything negative out loud, because it's so powerful. In the Navy SEALs, he talked about how powerful it is. No matter how much pain they're experiencing in Hell Week and all this stuff they're dealing with, they never allow the tongue to speak something negative. Otherwise, they'll ultimately quit and give up.
Right.
It's too painful to deal with what they deal with.
Right.
To then say, I'm hurting, I'm tired, I can't do it.
Right. Don't speak that. Don't speak that into the universe. You just, because whatever you speak feels like it expands.
Of course.
Right. Energy grows where energy goes. It expands. So speak life. Speak possibility. There is not one dark situation that doesn't have a glimmer of light. It doesn't mean it's going to be convenient to see.
That's true.
And most of us are looking for convenient light.
Yes. Oh man, I want to speak for like 5 more hours with you, but I want to try to finish with a few final questions here.
Yes.
Even though I don't want to finish this.
We'll
have to come you back on.
Sometime.
Yeah, we'll bring it back on.
Let's do this again. I promise it won't be as challenging to get me in the future. I promise, my friend.
I want to talk about, for a moment, purpose, because I feel like right now we're seeing a lot of people with scattered purposes, especially with everything that's happening in the world over the last
Right.
3 months, 6 months. I'm seeing so many big influencers go through divorce who are publicly had great relationships. I'm seeing people's businesses go under because of they were in the events business or whatever, and they weren't able to adapt and shift. I'm seeing people scattered with their purpose and unclear.
Right.
How can people, let's speak to this, because I think it's two different questions. One is how to truly figure out what your purpose is, because I think it's seasonal. You know, what your purpose was when you were 10 is different now.
I agree.
It's seasonal, so it's hard for, you know, it's a very broad question, and I don't want to set you up with that because I think it's unfair when people ask you that for me. But if you know, if you think, I know what my purpose is, like, I know I'm meant to go do this thing. I think I'm supposed to go after this. I feel like maybe I should try this thing, but I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
How would you coach someone who knows what they're supposed to do, or at least they think they do until they figure it out and it's not it or it is it? How do you coach people or encourage people to actually do it, to actually overcome that final hurdle of fear, whether they're afraid of failure, afraid of success, afraid of judgment, whether they've got a really good life and a really good job, but it's just not it's not pulling them to their ultimate purpose? Where do you share in that line?
So one of the first things I do is I ask them to please, let's quantify and give life to what does it cost you to stay still.
Ooh.
So, you know, I'm a straight no chaser kind of girl, right? We're not just going towards something. We also have to realize that to the same degree that you asked the weight loss, why did I do it? Because what would it cost me with all my success? What would it have cost me to stay in that 220-pound body? What's the cost? And so when I saw that, that's why I responded. If I didn't give myself this, right, I was very clear with the cost. So number one, I would say, what does it cost you? And my students know me. I do this in my workshop, my trainings for my platinum level students and my coaches and students that are getting certified to be a Lisa Nichols trainer. And I ask them hard questions. What does it cost you to stay in that mindset? And they have to list it. And I say, and what part of the price have you already paid? And they just give visceral. They're like, And I say, so how long? I don't know. Whatever you want. How much longer do you want to pay that price?
Right.
Are
2 years, 10 years, 2 months?
Are we PIF? Are we paid in full now? Are we PIF?
I'm paid in full and I'm keep paying.
Exactly. And so I use this metaphor that if you went to the store and bought a dozen eggs and you went home and you scrambled all the eggs and you cooked the eggs and then you took the empty carton back to the grocery store and you said, I'd like to buy these again. The cashier will go, but you already bought them. Why are you buying it? Why are you paying for it again? That's what we're doing. We're paying for the same behavior over and over again. And so one, get clear that you're PIF, that you're paid in full for not being in action. Like I've already paid it. I've done 3 years of wanting a dream and not have, whatever your reasons are, right? Number two is, let's talk about everything that happens if you fail. Let's just unpack that.
You go back to where you're at now. Yeah,
Right. Oh, actually, you never are back to where you are now because now you got some kind of lesson that you didn't have.
Yeah.
Right. You got some kind of experience. So what happens if you fail? Okay, great. So what lessons can we pull out of that? So now let's agree to, if we fail, let's fail forward. So then let's define, what does failing forward look like? So then we get very descriptive on what does failing forward look like? What will I do with the lessons? What will I'll document 4 to 6 things I did right. And I'll document 2 to 3 things that I can improve upon, and I'll implement them all on the next go round. So then we take out all the possibility. And I even go as far as saying, so what if people judge you? I unpack it. What if people judge you? Let's say they talk really bad about you on social media for like 3 days. Like it goes a while. Well, then what happens? Mm-hmm. Well, on the 6th day, I get up and do it again. So all of a sudden I take all the juice out of the balloon of all. We just deep dive into the darkness of your illusions, deep dive into the darkness of your mind. So like, what? Okay, well, I'll lose this money. Okay, you lost how much? 40,000. Okay, all 40,000 gone. So now what? I don't know. Okay, well, let's figure out a plan because you already lost the money. We lost the money. Let's Now I can start saving again, or I can do whatever. Okay, great. So then all these big possibilities are now just situations. Then I go to, so what can we do to eliminate the possibility of that occurring? So now we go into strategy. So I'm real big on strategy. I'm real big on milestones. I believe that you should not set a macro goal without setting several micro goals. So I live in micro goals. Like my number that I want to generate this year, I don't ever look at that after November of the year prior. After November 2019, I don't really look at it. I look at every monthly goal because that's my milestone. I know that goal, and I know that goal is tied into my annual goal. So I don't have to worry about it. So I'm seeing if I'm on track, because I can handle that. That's palatable. Right. So then a lot of times entrepreneurs set like big bodacious goal, and you have a release of endorphins when you first set it, but then it goes away because you don't even know how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And so I'm real big on my, just on my campus, I'm real big on three things: a strategy, right? Milestones, and accountability.
Yeah.
By when dates, by when, by who. Right. And so make it doable, make it so you could see it, set it up in 90 days. And so I think that purpose comes with a plan.
Ooh.
And oftentimes we leave purpose so big and so ambiguous that it feels difficult to touch. And so if you're supposed to inspire millions, okay, great. So for August, how many are you going to touch toward that million? We're going to get to millions. We're going to get to millions. But are we touching 5,000? Are we touching 50,000? And then by November, did you grow your social media platform by 3% or by 30%? Like less something trackable and measurable so that you can see that purpose being fulfilled. So you can trust your picker. So many of us haven't had enough indicators, haven't had enough evidence that we've done it the way we thought we would do it or better, that now you're starting to pull back on trusting your picker. Well, you need evidence. If the court of law sends a man to prison because of evidence or lets a woman walk because of lack of evidence, then why not use evidence in your life that you're ready for such a time as this? But you have to set it up in such a way where you can see the trackable evidence.
What do we say to ourselves when we don't do self-care? What are we saying about how much we are worth to ourselves when we don't, when we delay that for months and years of taking care of ourselves?
Yeah. I'm not important enough to put at the front of my own line. You always are going to have a line of people to serve, things to do. And you got one job: to stand at the front of your own line. You're saying that you're training other people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. And so you are saying, that I still need to heal in the area of feeling important enough to prioritize my self-care.
Yeah.
You also may be saying and can be saying, I still need to learn how to fall in love with myself enough to take care of me the way I take care of others. And that's so many people. You take care of those around you far better than you take care of yourself.
Yeah. This is beautiful. You shared last time. I want to see if your three truths are the same. So at the end of every interview, I ask people what their three biggest truths are, if this was their last day on earth many years from now, and all of their content was had to go with them to the next place, and there was no more videos or books or anything of your message, but you could share three lessons to the world or three truths. I'm curious if your three truths have changed in this season, so I'll ask you, what are your current three truths?
You are greater than your circumstances. It's your birthright. It's your birthright to have joy and abundance and love and fairness. And it's your responsibility to leave this planet a better place than it was before you came by your contribution.
My final question, what's your definition of greatness currently?
Being willing to lift others as you climb. Being willing to lift others as you climb. Being willing to speak even if your voice shakes. Yeah. Being willing to lift as you climb and being willing to speak even if your voice shakes.
If you want to learn how to make more money and master money in your life, then check out this video right here.
Sure.
Because I was bankrupt. See, some people, you haven't pushed non-negotiable yet. You're still optional. I really would love to be successful. And so
I want to be
I
successful.
want to be successful.
I want to make money.
I want to make
be
money.
healthy.
I want to be healthy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not non-negotiable yet.
Yeah.